This week on the Push All Lives podcast, guess we're gonna talk about Gymshark. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's all go to Bolton.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Four Legs podcast with myself, Darmeek.
And me, Tom Hall, live from Bolton. Just
not going to
running
Bolton.
around. I'm not going to Bolton, no.
No chance am I going to Bolton.
I mean, apart from the fact that it's Bolton, anybody who's listening from the Greater Manchester area,
there could be no COVID and I still wouldn't go Bolton.
That's the thing. Yeah, you guys are loving it. Remember that with the quarantine restrictions of like when you're shutting down countries, like, oh, you can't go to Greece or Crete anymore because they've risen above the 20 to 100,000. Bolton have gone from, was it like 13 to 100,000 to over 110, over 120 in a week. Yep. They have smashed it out of the park. Well done.
Yeah,
good job.
They have gone for it, haven't they? Yeah. Oh, mate, I understand it. I get the frustration that everyone's feeling. To be fair, I think it's just like it is a bit like frustrating. I think having to worry about all this sort of stuff. I know it's the new normal, for want of a better term, but it's just a bit like
I hate that term so much. It's just the new normal. There's gonna be hot.
I just think as soon as there's a vaccine, it'll just go back to how it was. Like it's just the way it's going to go.
I'm looking at the graph now, and it's kind of like a moot point, isn't it? Like the graph, because at the time of the cases where we were at highest, right? So where were we like between 5,000 or 6,000 for that, like, was it like 6 week, 3 to 6 week term? We also didn't have the capacity to test as we do now. So we were struggling to do, what was it, like 50,000 to 100,000 a day. Like nobody could do that. And then right now we can do 200 to 250, 300,000, no problem. But then there's not also, it's like a lot of people already had it, and now people are just like readily available going to the thing, and it was still under half of what the thing was. And I was like, everybody wasn't really getting tested back then as well. So they were like, oh, there's about 7,000 people getting it, but they actually think nearer like 50 to 100,000 people probably had it at the time. So I'm like, I'm taking this with a pinch of salt that it's going back up. I was like, it obviously is. We're going to have another spike. It looks like it's Corona talk, classic. But obviously it literally says on the graph, mass testing available. Like that was previously it was targeted testing. So yeah, it's all us fuckers, isn't it? It's our age group down, apparently. I don't know. I'm still in the 20 like categories. So
you still count, do you? Fuck.
I'm not too sure. I think the category is it? Are we 25 to 34? Is that a category, or is it split into 5?
I feel like it's 18 to 24, 25 to 34.
Okay, yeah, I'm heavily in that one.
I think it's the 18 to 24s though that they're blaming it on. Or the under 25.
I'd blame it on them as well.
So would I. So would I.
I mean, yeah, they're rife, aren't they? Running around, but we've had a hiatus for 2 weeks.
Your fault, not mine.
I mean, well, the first week, I was like, I wasn't expecting Dan to want to do one because you had a week off work. And you were like, I'm not talking to my clients, I'm running away. You went off to see your mum with the little one, everything for a week, I believe. That's correct.
Well, I was still working Monday, Tuesday. I'd have done a podcast, no problem.
All right. Gee. And then, I ran off to Portugal. I also had the shit ton of, what the story is that we needed to get everything done in terms of level 3, because we thought the release and the end date for the new thing was going to be the last day of August, and we had to be up and running by the 1st of September. And guess what? Active IQ, off you go, or a SimSpa, or whatever. They're like, no, we'll extend it a month. Right, brilliant. Okay, thanks. It's like, we've rushed. At least we've got it done. So that's why I went to Portugal in celebration. And then we were obviously sitting there going, oh, we're going to be in quarantine. I was smart then, wasn't I? I booked from Thursday to Wednesday night because I knew they make the announcements on Thursdays, so we wouldn't get caught up.
No, you're very smart.
Very smart. Very smart. I knew the pattern, so it was all right. Yeah. But how stupid is this, right? So if I was coming back So Portugal got put on Scotland's list and Wales' list, but not in England's. But if I was so an Englishman, an Englishman, a Scotsman, and a
Irishman, go to bar,
all go all go to the airport together. Okay, they all fly back from Portugal together. We all land in London, or we all land in Scotland, whatever, doesn't matter. Wherever your end destination is. So if the Scotsman's going back to Scotland, I'm going back to London, the Welshman's going back to Cardiff. They would have to quarantine, even though we land in London, but I would not.
Crazy, isn't it?
We've had the same trip, done the same flight, we've been on the same coach. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely mental. Yeah, really strange. But obviously, like, it was quite sad being out. Like, it was beautiful, loved it. Lisbon was really cool. The coast was really cool. But Uber's so cheap, and it was like we were talking to everybody, and they were like, "It's so quiet. It's so dead. It's like." They just needed tourism. We could literally get in kind of any restaurant we liked on the day, like just book it on the app, bam, go, ring them up, yep, got a table. They're like, this isn't normal at all. This lad who we took an Uber from, he was like just doing like €2-3 trips all the time. And when we asked him to go back to our hotel and then go to the airport, he almost like, I swear he almost cried. He was like, you're gonna make my week. Like this was like a €40 trip, like not much. It was like about an hour though, hour and a bit. And he was like, this has made my week. I was like, I've been earning like €600 a month. And I was like, what? I was like, wow. Jesus Christ. Yeah, throughout this. I was like, wow. I gave him like a big tip. I was just like, mate, you need the money more than me. Yeah, I was like, Jesus, quite sad. Because obviously the whole place is like where we stayed in Cascais, which is just on the coast, but the whole place is built off two things: fishing and tourism, and that's it. Like they haven't got any other trade really. But the place is like it's full of like luxury places. It's like the I don't know, the Monaco of like that bit. It's really
yeah. Of course you went on holiday there. Of course you did. Yeah. No, yeah. You're right, yeah.
It was all cheap. So.
Well, yeah, it was all cheap, wasn't it?
Got some good deal. We were only there for like 6 days, weren't we? So it was good. But yeah, mate, I also went down to Dan. We went down to Mr. Meek.
You came to visit, mate, didn't you? You came to meet Molly.
Yeah.
You came.
Definitely.
Not daft, do you know what I mean? So yeah, no, it was good to see you. To be fair, mate, it was quite nice. Not gonna lie.
Chill. It was good to chill. And obviously, like Chloe was like, oh, I thought we'd like go out and about a bit more. I was like, no, like we're best mates. We're okay with doing fuck all in each other's company. I was like, that's absolutely fine.
Don't worry about that shit, mate.
Just nice to chat, just nice to do whatever.
It's not much to do in Bath either. Once and again, like with everything that's going on, it's just a bit like, well, like
obviously,
like walk around, get some coffee, but
I've been a few times and like I've seen a lot of stuff. So we'll obviously come back, and once it's opened up a little bit more, I think Chloe want to go see a load of stuff. But I was just like, it's just not worth it. I was like, it won't be good. It won't be as nice. So I was like, we can't do like the bar stuff really. I was like, I doubt we're allowed in the pool or anything like that. So it'll be like, ugh. So, I'm still yet to do that. I haven't been in the Roman one, but obviously like the fresh one. Have you done that yet? You've been there for ages.
Yeah, I've been in the Roman baths. Yeah, I actually did it when the Sheikh came to visit. To be fair,
like,
I've not even done it myself. Like not like, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll just go." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've never been." They were like, "Oh really?" Like, yeah, I've never been. Like why would I have been? It's just not something I've considered doing.
It's
like,
weird, isn't it? Like you'd be around London.
It's like when I was in London. Like when I was in London, I never did anything in London. Never went to like anything.
Everybody assumes like I think my mum assumes that I must spend all my time in tourist spots. Like it's so busy in Leicester Square. I was like, I've not set foot in Leicester Square in about 5 years.
Yeah, I actively stay away from Leicester Square for that reason. Like, yeah.
I was like, yeah, why'd you go here? I was like, I don't go there. I don't go where the people are.
Yeah.
It's a strange one, isn't it? It's like, oh, it must be so busy in London. It's like, it's busy, but it's not as busy as you think it is. Like, also used to it. But yeah, mate, Portugal's lovely. I eat as much fish as possible. I eat some barnacles. I've never had a barnacle before. Pretty weird. Tasted like the sea.
Yeah, it would do, wouldn't it?
Oysters, lobsters, all that kind of crap. It was good.
Just tastes like salt water, doesn't it?
What, barnacles?
No, oysters.
Oysters, yeah, they were quite salty. There was like lots of stuff on them. Yeah, they're all right. I don't get the like people's like objection about having them. They're just a bit gooey, and that's about it. It's a bit slimy. I get that, but it just slips down. There's not much to it. But I also don't get why it's like so fancy. I don't get why lobster is so fancy as well. I'm like, it's fine.
No, I don't get it either.
I prefer like dipping the lobster in some lush mayonnaise, and I'm like,
it's the mayonnaise, isn't it?
It's the mayonnaise that you want.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this could be bread, and I'd be like, still love it. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, so the barnacle was weird, and some of the crab stuff that was really good. So some like spider crab, they're pretty decent. So, but yeah, mate, loved it. Drank far too much wine, far too much sangria, and only burnt the tops of my feet, which is pretty good for me. You're a man of burning. You burn your skin frequently when you go outside.
Just don't go outside. Simple.
I'm similar. I usually kind of just bathe in it, but I was quite good. I'm proud of myself. I was like expecting to come back bright red, and it's just a British thing, isn't it, as well? It's like the rest of the world seem to either put like suntan lotion or tan, and we just go lobster coloured.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
And realizing that everybody I know with really, really good skin and like seems to use a lot of suntan lotion like every day. Apparently that's the secret. So no wrinkles.
Something to it there, you can see. I'll be all right then.
So yeah, I guess we've got the hot topic. We've wasted about 10 minutes because I guess we need to talk about it because Dan wants to talk about it. And I believe I actually was on Instagram today. I was doing a lot of work, so I just posted now. But yeah, Gymshark. I guess we're going to talk about the rise and fall of Gymshark. Well, it's not really the fall; it's just a post. But
yeah, it's not. It's not really. It's just.
Shall I get? I'm going to get their post up.
Moral high ground on those comments, and I was extremely frustrated when I saw it because Gymshark are a brand that since their inception have promoted five years. The amount of their ambassadors or models who I can tell you now are using steroids is ridiculous. Every single one of them I've seen pretty much. And if they're not completely massive and ripped, they are almost pretty much all of them exclusively ripped to shreds. Six packs, everything, you name it. Look incredible, right? And then I suppose more recently, And we regularly take the piss out of them, right? We have done previously. We posted videos about them all the time about, again, these people don't know what they're doing when it comes to training, all this sort of stuff, right? And for me, the change has just been so rapid that for Gymshark to just embrace diversity, because of this year, it's kind of the trend thing to do. Again, not saying that's a bad thing. It's just the trend this year, whether it's sexuality, whether it's skin. And I want to make that extremely clear that that's the right way to go. They should be going that way. My issue with it has been that they are part of the problem that's been created. They promote an extremely unrealistic view of what is a physique and all that sort of stuff. And yes, if they're going to show women who are slightly larger, they can always show people who are slightly leaner and have abs and stuff, and they're being diverse. They don't have to show one or the other completely. You don't have to go all